Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So I have a real treat. You guys are going to get to see what I grew up with. You're going to get to see a man that is like exactly like my dad in stature, in attitude, in behavior. So this is about 59-year-old Maryland resident Daniel Egtvedt. He was seen at the front of the mob that had amassed outside the Senate wing doors. The doors and the windows had been breached previously, and officers tried to resecure them with large pieces of furniture. But officers who were standing guard say that the mob was throwing objects at them through the broken windows, including flagpoles, and the crowd was screaming at them. They were calling them traitors and other names, and Egtvedt was among them. He was one of those yelling out insults. He was right at the front of that mob. And Egtvedt took part in the group push that eventually broke through that makeshift barricade with the furniture, and they overran the police again. So Egtvedt illegally entered the Capitol along with many others. Once he was inside, Egtvedt gave an interview to white nationalist Anthime Giannett, who I've talked about. He goes by the name of Baked Alaska online. And Egtvedt said in the live stream, quote, "Tell everybody that is outside, tell them to get in here now. This is our country. We need to reclaim it. We are not going to let the globalists take our country." End quote. "Everybody, if you are seeing this, come down here now. We are not backing away. This is our house." So Egtvedt then walked through the Capitol. He was seen and heard on body cam screaming at officers, quote, "This is the United States of America, and you are on the wrong fucking side." He wandered around for a while, and then Egtvedt appeared to be heading to an exit. So he passed by several officers. A bunch of officers were in an area called the Hall of Columns. They were looking at evidence or trying to preserve evidence from the shooting of Ashley Babbitt. They were also escorting people out. And so several of them motioned for Egtvedt to exit the Capitol. And a special agent said that he pointed and he told Egtvedt, "You need to head outside." Well, the agent said that, quote, "It was clear to me that he heard what I said and decided to not follow the direction that I gave him," because Egtvedt abruptly turned around and he started heading back into the Capitol. So at that point, a female officer stepped in front of him to try to block him, and he just kept walking. He just kept going towards her. So the officer put her hand up like toward his shoulder to try to stop him, and that's when he kind of charged at her, and he started screaming, quote, "You shoot me, shoot me. You guys are violating the Constitution of the United States of America." This is a very large man. He's 6'2" and 370 pounds. He is basically the size of my dad. My dad was 6'1", 365 pounds the last time I knew of his weight. So I know exactly how this female officer felt. Anyway, Egtvedt swung his arm and he swatted her hand away. Then she raised another hand. Her other hand, she placed it on his chest, and Egtvedt grabbed it. So she swung her other hand against his arm, and she was able to free herself from his grip. And then simultaneously, other officers, male officers, were attempting to intervene. They were trying, some of them, to pull Egtvedt backward toward the exit. And then other officers got in front of him and tried to push him backward to try to keep him from advancing further into the Capitol. So while all of this is going on, Egtvedt is pushing forward and he's repeatedly screaming at them, quote, "You work for us." And then at some point during this scuffle, Egtvedt falls backward. He hit his head on one of the columns. He fell to the ground. He also partially landed on one of the other officers, and he injured the officer's rotator cuff. So Egtvedt is screaming this whole time. His attorney tried to say that he passed out, he was unconscious. That's BS because he's screaming the whole time. They're trying to get him up, and he's refusing to get up. And they're telling him, "You need to leave." He's refusing to leave. This went on for like 2 minutes. So a couple of officers finally grabbed him and kind of half carried, pushed him down the hall and out the door. So Egtvedt lands on the ground again. He's now outside on the ground. He's still refusing to leave. The officers keep offering him medical assistance and he's just ignoring them. And then some of the police went outside and they helped him back to his feet again. And then Egtvedt tries to get back in. He tried to push past them and re-enter the Capitol. So he was out there for a while screaming and arguing with them. Eventually he walked away. But once he was outside, he had another confrontation with officers. He encounters these two officers, a male and a female. They tell him, you're going the wrong way. You need to go back the other direction. He's like, I don't want to go that way. So they also had to physically push him in the other direction. And he's leaning back on them, resisting them the whole time. And he's screaming, quote, you are violating the Constitution. This is tyranny. So once again, Egtvedt is interviewed. He's outside. He gets interviewed by another person, and he's still encouraging people to go to the Capitol. Then a little while later, he went to another set of Capitol doors, and he's screaming at the officers behind those Capitol doors to let them in. So following the Capitol attack, Egtvedt was arrested in a domestic dispute. Apparently, he tried to physically stop someone from taking one of his elderly relatives to get a COVID vaccine. So the police were called and he was temporarily restrained or detained. But in regard to January 6th, Egtvedt was arrested on February 16th of 2021, and he was charged with 2 counts of assaulting officers, civil disorder, obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and 2 counts of physical violence. Egtvedt refused a plea deal. He opted for a bench trial. At the trial, the female officer told the judge, quote, I want to be clear that what happened at the U.S. Capitol on Jan 6, 2021 was a domestic terrorist attack. So she has since left the police force. She actually moved to another country, and she said that she's still struggling with PTSD because of what happened that day. She said that by the time she encountered Egtvedt, she had already, quote, spent hours fighting for my life. And she referred to Egtvedt as, quote, aggressive and unhinged. Dad? I swear to God, guys, this is my dad. So anyway, may his soul burn in hell. Anyway, in December of 2022, the judge found Egtvedt guilty on 7 counts. Egtvedt was acquitted on the 2 counts of physical violence charges for some reason, but, you know, he was found guilty on the assaulting officers charges. I don't get it. But anyway, based on the obstruction charge, Egtvedt was facing up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. The prosecutor, though, requested only 64 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper presided over this case, and at the sentencing hearing, he told Egtvedt, quote, I've seen a lot of these cases, and you were among the most disruptive and threatening and dangerous instigators there. I think you were part of a group that overran police lines outside of those doors, and after you tried to call in more folks. Cooper added, quote, I don't buy that your only choice was to blindly follow Donald Trump and the mob into the Capitol. So when all was said and done, Judge Cooper sentenced Egtvedt to 42 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. And check out how full of it Egtvedt is. He said that he should receive credit for accepting responsibility for his actions. When did he do that? He refused a plea deal, and then he tried to make himself out to be the victim in the trial. And then when he left the sentencing hearing, he was interviewed by WUSA 9 news outlet, and he told them, quote, I think more will be revealed that's going to vindicate us. So he clearly is still living in a 24/7 state of victimhood. He still doesn't get it, that he is not the victim. Nothing was done to you. You were the aggressor. You're the asshole. Anyway, guys, I will let you know if I hear any more, but yeah, this guy will be locked up for almost 4 years. where he belongs, obviously. All right. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. Talk with you soon. Please like this video, share it with others, subscribe if you have not already. Appreciate it so much. Love you guys. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.